What up, folks? Welcome back to Pick Your Brain Podcast, a platform to showcase creatives, social issues, mental health, and community empowerment. It's Jonathan Mendoza.
It's Kyle.
What up, Kim folks? It's Mike D. What's good?
All right, y'all. So we finna get straight to the point with this one because this one's really serious. So just about a week ago, if y'all haven't heard about the unjust killing of Angelo Quinto. So if y'all didn't know, Angelo is actually a 30-year-old Navy veteran who suffers from depression, anxiety, and paranoia. And what happened was he had a mental crisis, and the family called the police for help, right? That's what they were intending to do. And instead, what happens with this fucked up situation, right, is they grab Angelo, they kneel on him for 5 minutes. Let that sit. 5 minutes. And then he passes unconscious and then dies a couple days later. And what's even more fucked up is this happened in December, and the Antioch Police Department, which is about an hour, 2 hours away from where we're at, San Jose, right, doesn't say a word. They really try their best to cover it up. And even like right now, they're not even releasing the name of the murderers, the fucking cops. You know what I'm saying? Mike, Jonathan, how do y'all feel about when y'all heard about this story?
I mean, for me, again, we all about justice, social justice. We took part in Black Lives Matter marches and make sure that, the demand of the community in terms of accountability of the police, was a thing. And we had, that's something that we have to be in solidarity of, in support of. And this coming like happening, this really hits home. You know what I mean? Like, he's Filipino, he was a veteran. I'm a veteran. He had he was dealing with mental health issues. And like a lot of us, I have my own mental health issues that I deal with. And, even around my family, we all going through some stuff. And at any given time, things can happen and we can have a crisis. And the idea that, that the only option is to call the police in terms of, instead of for help, is like, instead of helping and de-escalating, this is what happens when you send the cops. They brutally murdered Angelo Quinto, and with the knee to the neck restraint process. And so, yeah, it's like it hits home, and it's very heavy in my heart. And because again, it's the idea of like a life passing, unnecessarily. It's so we have to demand justice, and I want to figure out what's the best way for us as a community to make sure that bring awareness to the issue, and be part of and supporting the family and demanding justice for their son, Angelo Quinto. How about you, John?
I mean, I'm just crushed. Disappointed, but not entirely surprised. And I think this just goes back to conversations that were had, not even that long ago, a year ago, with the George Floyd incident, where, we start discussing about defunding the police, abolishing the police, that sort of stuff. But when you look at how many responsibilities the police academies or, police officers have, they just have way too much. And mental health crises are just something they're not well suited for, And so that really starts developing these conversations about, we need better allocation for social services, social support, mental health, collectives and organizations, and just accessibility for other people, because they would have handled this situation a whole lot better than, a knee to the neck for 5 minutes. And I just think that in of itself like just 5 minutes on a person's neck, bro. Like, it's just fucking absurd. It's disgusting, reprehensible.
Yeah, and from what the family was saying, like, he was saying like, please don't kill me. Again, like while they're doing it, like the knee on the neck, it's like, yo, like, please don't kill me. You know what I mean? And so that and end up happening. It's crazy. And so, and again, back to like the mental health issues and crises in our community, is that like better respond is like it would be great to in terms of defunding police. It's really like creating more resources for the community that really caters to the specific condition, like a mental health response team versus like a cop coming in. You know what I mean? And so other means of serving our community, and these are the things that we need to look at and figure out what's the best way to move forward in demanding these politicians that are creating policies to serve our community. And so that's a demand like that. So in regards to the family and the city of Antioch, the city of Antioch just had a meeting last Friday, and with the mayor and the vice mayor calling for police reforms. And so one of the reforms that they're asking is, one is like a mental health response team, which is legitimate ask and demand for the people. And also for the local Antioch police is that to have body dash cam. So the situation, they didn't have any camera at all. So in regards to like investigation, there's going to be lacking, in terms of evidence. And so, and also like one of the significant ask and demand of the family is that banning the knee to neck restraint, because that was the cause of the death of Angelo Quinto. And so, so those are the demands, and like let's figure out the best way we can move forward and support the family in demanding justice and make sure the demands in regards to the police reform happens. And so, yeah, that's something that we should do as a community.
Yeah, I mean, if you look, there's a video, right, of the after math of what happened. The mom was recording it. Like, you could even see that the cops knew they messed up in that little situation, right? And the cop, right, one of the cops was like, did he take any illegal drugs? Where's his room at? Already implying like he did something for this to happen, when obviously the reason why he died was because you put your fucking knee on his neck for 5 minutes. All right, like, what the hell are you trying to get out of that situation? You know what I'm saying? And this really does hit close to home, hopping off of what Mike said, right? Not just as a Filipino, but as someone who deals with mental health issues, right? My brother, he's in the Marines, right? And I just think about him. I think about myself. I think about my future kids. You know what I'm saying? When I see this video, and it just breaks my heart, right? And it don't make sense, because a couple months ago, right, I had something like that, and I just had to I was scared, but at the same time too, I was ready to really like take on anyone that tried to come my way, and luckily Mama, and I apologized to her, but luckily Mama didn't even call the cops. She called my friends, because she knew that it would not worked out in that way, right? My friends are the one who helped me. She's the one who she trusted in that situation. Right. And I'm thinking about it now that could have been me a couple months ago. Right. Luckily, no one ever called the cops where I was staying at. And it's fucked up to even have these type of thoughts. Right. But like what Jonathan said, right, we ain't surprised about this shit. This is something that we go through every day. You know what I'm saying? Being a person who's experienced even racial profiling on a set level, I'm not surprised like this happened. But it does angers me. It does frustrate me. But at the same time, too, I know we got to do something about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's natural to be angry, to be upset with the situation. And that's the only natural thing. We're human beings, you know what I mean? And so now it's about really redirecting that anger and that energy to make sure that justice is met for the family. And so again, in regards to the family and supporting the family, we'll put up the link, a link tree goes to like videos and pictures of Angelo Quinto, and just be able to like relate with him and humanize him. And there are links in terms of his social media and the social media for Justice for Quinto. And then there are different links for like symposium in regards to like policies that are being put together in regards to like law enforcement and the Filipino community. And so we want to be able to provide those links and create the awareness and really empower people to take part and support the family and the community. And so we want to be able to do that. So make sure, please check out the link. We'll put the link in our bio on the website and even on the YouTube video. So yeah.
All right, y'all. Anyone else wanted to finish off with anything, Jonathan? Nah? Okay. All right, y'all. So I created a poem for what happened. Like what Mike said, it is normal to be angry and frustrated, right? So I created this in order to kind of gather my thoughts and just to put that towards something and to express it in some type of way. All right, so I'm gonna be performing it for y'all. This is my first time actually doing poetry on the podcast. It's a first. So I didn't title it, but I'm titling 5 minutes. 5 minutes by Kyle. All right.
Do your thing, brother.
Yes, sir. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Like an anxiety attack, I can't get that time out of my head. Y'all didn't learn about George Floyd? 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Angelo Quinto was his name. You see, this hits close to home, for my mind can't roam, so I'ma say, fuck it, I ain't finna watch my tone. No justice, no peace, prosecute the police. I said no justice, no peace, prosecute the police. Say his name, Angelo Quinto. Say her name, Breonna Taylor. Say his name, Tommy Lay. Say his name, Andres Guadardo. Say his name, George Floyd. And here's the story of Angelo Quinto. A 30-year-old Filipino Navy veteran going through a mental crisis. The people took his breath away until he was lifeless. But this never made sense. Them damn crooks treated him as if he was less than life. The family called the police for help, but instead took this young man's life away. He suffered anxiety, depression, and paranoia. Every single day I think about this. The cops did it their way. To protect and serve? Hell no, more like accuse and abuse, in the words of Bamboo de Pistola's mom. A cry for help was what the mother seeked, but instead saw the police kneel for 5 minutes on her son's neck and watched him scream, "Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me." A mental health call, but instead death is what the poor family saw. It hurts my heart deeply. I had to retreat to the hills to gather my thoughts. You see, I wrote this poem. I was driving to Sierra Hills and I couldn't help but break down. I saw my brother in him. I saw myself in him. I saw my future kids in him. You see, my brother is part of the Marines, and it ain't easy in the military, but that's how it seems. I couldn't help but think about you, bro. I got too much love for you, but that could have been you, bro. And this is the thought that eats my thoughts alive. I put my mother through this, and I just wanted to say I'm sorry. There was one day where all my feelings exploded and it wasn't controlled. Imagine this, ready to die. Palm sweaty, punching the air, my senses and body so tense it felt like everything was constantly shaking. Heart beating like a gun and y'all could hear my chest. My small party couldn't hold my deadly stare, so I went out to get some air. It wasn't at all fair to my brother and to my brother. But instead carried on with my unthinkable actions and started screaming at the top of my lungs. I was ready to take out this anger at anyone who tried to walk my way. Imagine if someone called the cops. Good thing my mom called the homies, and I thank y'all from the bottom of my heart for saving my life. Now I see it happen a couple months later in the news, but if you think about it, this ain't nothing new. It happened to George Floyd. It happened to Tommy Lee. It happened to Andres Guardado. It happened to Oscar Grant. It happened to Samir Rice. It happened to Christian Hall. The list goes on and on and on and on. It could happen to anyone. It could happen to you. It could happen to him. It could happen to him. It could happen to her. It could happen to your son. It could happen to your brother. It could happen to your sister. It could happen to anyone. This is why we scream, no justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. Remember his name, Angelo Quinto. Thank you.
But yeah, thank you for sharing the personal touch, and it's not easy to to be able to like share those things, and so I appreciate you being able to be vulnerable, and but just we're putting together, we're having conversations with the different individuals in our community, the different organizations, and we hope to plan something, an event, to fundraise and all those things. So keep an eye out, and we'll make an announcement. And if folks are wanting to do something, please reach out to us, reach out to any of us, and we want to figure out how to best to mobilize our community in terms of supporting the family of Angelo Quinto. So yeah, no justice, no peace.